Welcome all to the panoramic green of the Palmetto State, where today's match is presented by GSP Airports. The marquee lights up for an encore this evening, a match only played a week ago. In the Open Cup, it was Greenville triumph and one Knox engaged once more to rehash their differences. Tonight, it will be in the league. USL League One is in full swing, folks, and it's about to be live for you now. A familiar view. Two sides that have plenty of history down the last couple of years come together again today. Howdy, folks. Peyton Gallagher here with Ross Davenport for Greenville Triumph and one Knoxville SC. And Ross, you got to see these two teams play not too long ago, last Wednesday, when they saw each other in the Open Cup, and it was all one Knox.
Well, it was, but I think Rick Wright said they thought Greenville played well. The stats would agree with him. Greenville outshot Knoxville 22-13. 19 of those shots were in the box, 7-4 shots on target. It wasn't much of a pressing game. Greenville won only the possession in the final third 3 times. Knoxville did not at all. It was just a case of Knoxville taking advantage of the moments and finishing nicely in the end.
They got out ahead early. They never really looked back, and this would be Mark Doyle with a confirmed finish. That front 3 has been dazzling so far for Ian Fuller.
Yeah, Derek Costas with the goal and the assist. Doyle, that lovely one-time finish. Papa Mesa would get one back here, make it 2-1, even down a man after the red card to Rodrigo Robles for the triumph, but it would end up with the 2-goal deficit. Greenville's cup run is over.
Well, Knox able to get that victory. They've not had a ton of success over the long haul against Greenville Triumph, but they would seal it there at the end of things. Babacar Dieng, the one that got the third to make things all semantic in the end, and this is the tale of that tape. And you can see everything you just said about the statistics would indicate Greenville were closer than the scoreline might lead you to believe.
Yeah, one thing I want to mention, Knoxville had 69 final third entries, but only 19 touches in the Greenville box, as you see there. That's 27.5%. Meanwhile, Greenville had 57 final third entries and had 34 touches in the Knoxville box. Just really couldn't do enough with it in the end.
Greenville will look to have a little bit more control in this game. If they are to do so, Chapo Herrera will be at the heart of that issue.
He did. He had a golden chance to open the scoring Saturday in that win over Charlotte early, saved by Matt Levy. Make it his center midfield friend Sebastian Velasquez back for a little longer period tonight. Rick Wright would love to get that partnership going again.
Mark Doyle will be a thorn in the side for Rick Wright, as well as he is coming off what is a red-hot stretch for him.
Frequent scorer during his days back in Ireland. He's found the net twice already since joining Knoxville. He was a menace down the left all night last week. 17 passes in the final third. Listen, Rhode Island's loss has been Ian Fuller's game.
They're friends now. Got a feeling they won't be here in a couple of minutes. When we come back, live action here in South Carolina in the full throes of the USL League One regular season, getting to the thick of things. Folks, don't turn that dial.
Every day, we get the privilege to serve you, sharing local stories on all your screens.
The first alert on breaking news sent through the Fox Carolina News app.
Serving you with the earliest heads up on storms through the Fox Carolina First Alert weather app.
Live and on-demand newscasts.
Fox Carolina Investigations.
On your streaming TV.
Your stories told right here. Fox Carolina News.
I'm Rick Wright, head coach of the Greenville Triumph Soccer Club. The Triumph play here on Palmetto Sports and Entertainment.
Watch using antenna on channel 21.2 or on Spectrum 703. The Greenville Triumph play here, Palmetto Sports.
El Greenville Triumph y Liberty están orgullosos de asociarse con Telemundo Carolina del Sur. Vean Telemundo Carolina del Sur para mantenerte informado con noticias locales en español y disfrutar de toda la increíble programación de Telemundo. Disponible gratis con antena en el canal 31.1.
Welcome to Wood Creek Dental, where dental care is a family tradition. For over 40 years, we are proud to be a family-owned practice serving the community of Greenville, South Carolina. At Wood Creek Dental, we believe in quality care and exceptional service. Our experienced dentists and dedicated staff are committed to your oral health. We've invested in modern technology and have created a relaxing atmosphere for your comfort and peace of mind. We prioritize your experience in our calm and caring atmosphere. Our commitment to providing you and your family with exceptional service is at the heart of everything we do. And our patient-centered approach builds relationships based on trust and confidence. Experience the difference for yourself. Wood Creek Dental. Dental care from our family to yours.
Back here with the team news and Ross for Greenville. A lot of tinkering still in process for Rick Wright.
Yeah, he's still trying to figure things out with his off-season additions. This is the first time we'll see Robles, Mensah, and Castro start. We'll have to see where they fit in on the field. The only change, Robles coming in for Marsh from that win over Charlotte on Saturday.
And for one Knox and Ian Fuller, not much difference from their last match against Greenville a week ago. That front three has been spectacular.
Yeah, the only change for Ian Fuller, Bel Caputo comes in at the 6th spot for Seager Hadley, who took that silly red card last week for throwing the ball over the advertising hoardings. Listen, this front three certainly up there with the best in League One when firing on all cylinders.
Out to live pictures. We are happy to have you along for the ride. Again, Peyton Gallagher with Ross Davenport. The tie on terms as Greenville triumph and won Knoxville. Green means go. We are underway in South Carolina. This match is presented by GSP International Airport. And it was one Knox cleared for takeoff when these two got together most recently in the Open Cup. Polak in there with the cover to stab it away and out for a throw. Partner, I looked over to my right, saw a big squint from you, so I'll let you mess with the tactics, try and figure out what's going on these first couple of minutes. Your guess is as good as mine in terms of what Greenville would look to do with this 11 today. Ropapa Mensah in pursuit.
We've seen them try Leo Castro at the 10 spot. Looks like where he may start tonight. I think we may see a narrow midfield for Greenville with those fullbacks pushing up as much as possible. We mentioned we might see 5 at the back. We'll see once things settle down a little bit here. The bright sun beaming down here in Furman.
Of course, Greenville featured this strike partnership against Charlotte Independence at the weekend. A big win late on for them. Leo Castro, the one who provided that. Rodrigo Robles watches that go out for a goal kick to come. Johan Garabay is the goalkeeper for one Knoxville, filling in for all-leaguer Sean Lewis to start the year. He has been superb so far, Ross. Had 6 saves against Greenville in that Open Cup clash.
Yeah, certainly had a great game last week. I wouldn't say he's trying to keep that #1 spot. Sean Lewis, I think, still the #1 until he proves otherwise. Coach Ian Fuller said not quite ready to come back yet. Sean Lewis making his way back to full fitness.
We are told he's pretty close to being back, but unable to give it a go today. Polak under pressure. A delightful dodge to get away from that. Now Chapa Herrera gets the wheels turning. Trying to take the top off. Aiming for Castro. Cleared by Jaheim Brown, who's been, I'm not sure if one Knoxville would see it this way, but a little bit of a surprise. He has been excellent at right back position so far.
He was very effective in that game last week. Up and down that right wing. Won 8 of his 10 duels in that cup victory.
Here is the Fox Carolina weather reports, and a little bit of a dip in the mercury, 62 degrees, but none of the players will be complaining about that.
No, perfect night for soccer in the upstate. So if things do dip down into the 50s as the game goes on, perhaps might see some gloves in the second half.
Robles and Castro sparking up that connection again.
We weren't sure whether we'd see Robles or Evans on the left. It will be Robles to start. Rick Wright talked to him this week about flip-flopping the wings, something that goes back to the John Harkes days. He said sometimes it just happens because Connor Evans is taking a corner on that side. Other times they may see something in a particular matchup. Keep an eye on that one as the game goes on.
There's Castro there dropping deep for a touch. He's dispossessed, and Greenville grapple it back. No one to come. So you're seeing this as a 4-4-2 so far for Greenville.
It looks certainly a little more like it. Still back maybe to their 4-2-3, and we'll see where Castro goes. It depends. I think with the ball, there'll be more of a 4-4-2. Castro will drop back into that 10 spot. When they don't have the ball, it's still something Rick Wright is trying to work on. He wants to get the best players on the field at the same time. He's still tinkering here and there. As mentioned, this is the first time with Robles, Mensah, and Castro starting together.
Behind Benton now for a Knoxville throw. Threatening for the first time. Cued into the box and quickly claimed by Gunther Rankenberg. Distributing to Rodrigo Robles. Greenville begin their build out. Chapa Herrera ducking away from danger and darting one straight into the laces of Castro. He is unable to tame it.
Player of the week last week. A couple of goals here last month against Omaha in that big win.
He has been sizzling out of the gate. Right now, though, it's goaling. Chopped back, Robles and Herrera. Castro, he was bumped. There was no advantage there, and it's going to be a quick yellow card. It looks like to Brown. Center official today is Joe Sergan, and he takes his first name. So Jaheim Brown will have to keep that in mind as he tries to put a leash on Rodrigo Robles throughout the course of the night. Sitting on a booking 5 minutes in is never comfortable for a defender. They prepare for a free kick. The rest of the officiating crew is Alexandro Focia, Jonathan Smith, and Paige Bell will have the role of fourth official. Evan Lee. Crazy Karam. Lee able to take the sting out. Polak senses opportunity to get forward. Herrera at the controls. His feet have been Velcro so far. Castro can't guide it all the way wide. And it's Ritchie on the run. And he's taken down, and that will be a yellow card.
Well, referee Joe Sergan setting his standards early here with the two early yellows.
Castro that was booked that time. These teams, when they played in the Open Cup, there was a pair of red cards, one of those happening in live play, one of those very much so not. Sievert Haugli will have to miss the next match in the Open Cup, away to Colorado Springs for one Knox. He received a second yellow for delay of game after tossing a ball over his shoulder while on the bench after being subbed out already.
See Stuart Ritchie getting involved early. He had 60 touches in that win last week, 12 more than anybody else on the Knoxville side. Heavily involved on the left side of that offense.
Into the area. Greenville trying to get off the hook. Goaling over the head, receives it right back. Goaling couldn't quite gain full purchase. Knoxville still doing their best to make it stick, and play is quickly deadened.
Yeah, there was half a chance there for Goaling if he could have brought it down, taken a swipe at it, but the ball just wouldn't settle for him. As you see, referee Joe Sergan again having words early here. I think the Knoxville match last week was as physical for Greenville as Saturday's match against Charlotte was.
Familiarity breeds contempt. That would be the case for one Knox. They've played Greenville Triumph more than any team since joining up as a professional club now in their fourth season of operation. Third, I should say. Batting around mid-park. Space out on the flanks. Robles smartly plays it back in for Polak. Play is stopped again.
A lot of fouls here early. Knoxville looking to set the tone physically. Wright said he liked the way they responded after that loss to Knoxville with that late win over Charlotte. The performances just haven't quite been there yet for Greenville. Still, as you mentioned, Peyton tinkering, especially with the front five. It's like Rick Wright has the jigsaw puzzles at its availability, but he's not quite sure where they fit in just yet. Certainly enough talent out there to score plenty of goals.
Robles with arc. Callum Johnson able to clear the lines. Kempis Tequila showed a bit of interest, was unable to put a wrangle on it.
Obviously, must mention last week's cup game was basically an entirely retooled back line for Greenville to start things off. Back to their normal back four tonight, we should say. AJ Benton continuing to hold on to that right back spot. Connor Evans now moved up to the midfield with as effective as he has been after starting the first game at right back.
We'll see how the calculus shifts when Sebastian Velasquez, Michael Gonzalez, and the like are fully available.
Rick Wright has really wanted to see this Velasquez Chapa Herrera partnership get going. They played together at El Paso very effectively. They only made 9 starts together last season, winning 6 of them. So Rick Wright hoping Sebastian Velasquez can shake off this nagging hamstring injury. He looked good in training last week, played some on Saturday against Charlotte. Didn't suffer any effects. See if we can see him a little more tonight.
This Greenville program, they track everything at training, and Rick Wright was pretty adamant to us that Sebastian Velasquez actually may have run his fastest sprint ever in the fitness test trying to come back from this injury. Needless to say, he's raring to go.
Yeah, we'll certainly see him at some point this evening, as for a half hour later on.
This is well-worked interplay. And spraying to Zaracostas. Zaracostas with the overlap, it's Brown. Jamaican Jaheim Brown just runs out of road.
Yeah, good work there by Robles, just sort of shepherding Jaheim Brown out over the end line before he could do anything. Zaracostas again causing trouble. What a strike that was to open the scoring. Last week in that cup game also had the assist. Got another whistle. To get the Knoxville player out the box. Should be like U9 soccer. If you want to take the goal kick quickly, let him take it. It's a player across the breakout line in U9. The goalie can't take it if he wants. The build-out line, I should say.
They're trying all kinds of stuff at the youth levels. In Germany, they're playing with 2 goals at the youth stage.
Interesting.
Not quite sure what that develops. Smarter people than you and me, though. I've had a little bit of success down the years, I'm pretty sure.
No doubt about that. We might see more of the 4-4-2 tonight, but definitely more of the 4-2-3-1. Castro sitting behind Rapapa Mensah in the 10 role. Evan Lee and Chapa Herrera at the double pivot.
It's an excellent tackle from Jordan Skelton, the all-league first-teamer a year ago. The Rock at the back for one Knoxville. Danny Fernandez and Garabay. First time we've really seen one Knoxville get to put a foot on the ball and build out from their own ends.
Skelton had 10 clearances in that game last week to lead all players. Danny Fernandez had 8. He was just behind him.
They formed in resolute partnership for one Knoxville, transitioning into more of a flat back 4 after being a predominantly 3-back team last year. Ian Fuller mentioned that to us, that they were trying to build up a more attacking mindset from a team that was good with the ball and proud in their defensive work, maybe didn't generate as much a season ago.
No, really, and Fuller certainly looking to come in and shake things up a little bit. He said he knew what defensive base this team had. We'll see, moving to the new facility here this season. Lots of positives coming with this job, just had to get the goal scoring going a little bit. likes of Zaracostas and Doyle are certainly going to help that.
The big number for me that makes proof positive of that theory is the fact that they only scored 17 open play goals last year. They're already to 24% of that in their opening couple of games, won Knoxville. This man is a big reason why. Zaracostas, Chapa Herrera able to snuff it out. And Robles rumbling ahead. Castro inherits the ball and plays it right back down the line. Blocked out. Did it come off Robles last?
Not sure about that decision. I think Robles was already over the end line when that ball touched him.
How about the recovery, though, from Stavros Zaracostas, who lost the ball at the top of that, chased it all the way back down to the end line, and rewarded for his efforts by winning a goal kick.
It's blatant there that Robles was over the line when the ball touched him, but not sure if the assistant referee was in the right position to see it or not.
Goal kick coming. Good time to tell you to download the FanSaves app and follow the Triumph for access to exclusive deals at your favorite restaurants and breweries.
This aerial duel in there by Zainbab. A great addition to this Greenville backline. Slotted in perfectly next to Brandon Fricke so far.
That's wonderful. Unlocking play from the home side. Robles. Rather, that was Chapa Herrera who had drifted wide, and his cross is clipped down for a corner.
Chapa Herrera has had a little more of a free rein the last couple of games to get going forward. It's been very effective. I mentioned, had that golden chance early against Charlotte. Lovely bit of interplay here. Extra touch, just perhaps let Jordan Skellin get back into that play. Block the cross.
Greenville will try it again. And this time it's a throw. One Knox were hurt badly in the opening week. Conceded a pair of goals on Spokane velocity corners. Been much better in that area ever since that occurrence. Of course, these were two of the best corner defenses in the entire division a year ago. Time for another goal kick. From the flank, flown downfield, nobody's home. Knoxville will not extend to press the ball. Fricke funneling into Polak. Greenville do possess that ability to play through you and then mix that in with the long ball.
That's the benefit of having Mensah up top on his own. He's play on that back shoulder, try and draw attention away from Castro. Leaving Leo in that empty space behind him as much as possible. Yeah. Goal kick, I guess.
There is a good look at Ropapa Mensah, who scored against the side that he sees today. Just about the only silver lining. That match against one Knoxville for Greenville triumph. Open a risky ball. Skellin basking in some confidence to play it across the mouth of his own goal. Neither side really willing to press the other so far.
Now, we mentioned the stats from last week. Knoxville only had 3 turnovers in the final third. Knoxville had none. Quite happy just to knock it about here, pick their spots. Got them on the transition.
DJ Benton committing the foul. Triumph have done a pretty nice job so far, Ross, of limiting the access to that front three.
Yeah, I think they've learned their lesson from last week.
Something that Rick Wright told us building up to this match. Felt like his group was much better at limiting the space in behind against Independence.
And he talked about the transition defense and the job of knowing where your player is, your mark is at all times. Greenville did a good job last week of keeping those front three in front of the back four for the most part. It was just when they got caught out with numbers, Knoxville made them pay heavily.
In by Benton. Still waiting on that first real chance of the match.
There's neither of these teams with games this upcoming weekend. Knoxville won't play again until April 19th because now they are out of the US Open Cup. Knoxville, as you mentioned, Payne, will have that trip out west to Colorado next week. We'll get a week to prepare for it too.
Of course, this brings to a close the longest streak of consecutive home matches in Greenville Triumph history. 5 in a row to begin their season in league play.
Yeah, if they can win 3 of them, I think that would certainly be considered a success.
Considering 4 of them were against playoff sides from a year ago, including against this one Knox bunch, in fact, that Greenville knocked out in the first round on this very ground. And the other one was Westchester, who has been a dark horse favorite potentially to maybe win the thing at the end. I think you would have to take that.
It was a disappointing result for them this past weekend out in Antelope Valley, but obviously the home opener, Knoxville dominated the stats, just couldn't score. We'll talk about that game a little bit at halftime with the highlights of last weekend's contests.
Sarah Costas has appeared to have traded flanks with Mark Doyle, was trying to chase that in. A deft little flick from Chapa Herrera, who's playing with his tail up so far. Benton, a little bit of hesitation on the ball, and it's forced out of play for a throw. Been a little bit stop and start, maybe you might say, for Devin Benton so far in the Greenville colors.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure whether what Rick Wright had in mind coming into the season, whether Benton was going to be his starter or whether Evans was going to be the starter, but Evans has proved to be such a revelation in midfield. Saw Zane Bubb briefly at right back, but DJ Benton certainly has that spot for his own for now, as coach mentioned midweek. He made a few mistakes in that game on Saturday as well as last Wednesday, but is great going forward. He's going to continue to learn this system.
Benton, a player that came into this One Knox program this past year expecting to have a big role, only ended up playing 350 minutes, just trying to find himself back in the first team picture with Greenville this year. Maybe he's got a little bit extra to prove today.
Yeah, did a good job there, using the body, forcing the foul from Mark Doyle.
Robles trying to hold off Brown. Doggedly rushing in the midfield, and the foul is won. Brown's already been booked. It would have been extremely harsh to make that a second yellow card.
Yeah, nothing dangerous. See, that was one of those ones that was probably could have been a first yellow. That's what Greenville players are saying. Hey, he's already got one in the book. He's making challenges from behind like this.
Are you a little bit shocked to see him following Robles that deep, already on a booking?
In that manner, yes. He's obviously trying to make something happen. He's very clumsy about it. I think we've also got one other game going on tonight in USL League One. Richmond hosting Omaha. Keep you abreast of the situation in that one.
Plenty of action going on across the divisions nowadays. Of course, is a great segue into telling you the USL is kicking off Sunday on the CBS Sports Network. The Birmingham Legion will try to derail the fast-starting El Paso Locomotive. That's on April 13th at 5 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. Plenty of news around that Birmingham program breaking today, Ross.
Yeah, Tom Sohn relieved of his duties early in the season. You wonder, it would have been better to make that move in the offseason. I'm not sure. I guess we'll see how things go. There's some rumors about who might replace him. Back to that Omaha game. Good to see Rashid Nuhu back in goal tonight for Omaha.
Absolutely,
starting the season on the injured list.
Halfway through the first half, and that man is trying to solve the riddle. brushed away by Fricky. Second ball is one inside the line. On the advance is Robles. Mensah and Castro.
I mentioned the 5 straight home games to start the season for Greenville. They won't be back here at Paladin Stadium for a league match till May 17th. So got some Jägermeister Cup in between them as well, but they'll go on the road on the 19th. Chattanooga, Tormenta, and Richmond, at least relatively short road trips for the Triumph.
And with promotion and relegation on the near-handed horizon, that Jaeger Cup's going to be an interesting test of the metal to see where some of these League One sides add up into the box for now. A strong header to take it off course.
Yeah, take that back. Greenville's first Jaeger Cup home game isn't until June 28th, so the crew at Furman will get a bit of a rest here for a month plus, as Mark Doyle questioning another whistle by referee Joe Sergen.
That's a player that has championship experience, coming in last year, part of that Rhode Island squad that got all the way to the final.
Phil talked about his work rate and the quality he brings. Has that will to win. He said he was a little disappointed to be dropping down from the USL Championship, but he's going to thrive with Knoxville. Listen, guys that come down from the Championship, this is a chance for them to show what they've got as well here, and perhaps get a bump back up. As Leo Castro down, it looks like.
He has been hot out of the gate. I already told you he's a reigning League One Player of the Week. His late game heroics against Charlotte Independence. Didn't have as big of a hand in the offensive production a year ago, coming off a 13-goal season for him in 2023, but on his current course, even at the ripe old age of 35, the Colombian was looking to maybe rival his best marks in the Greenville shirt, but now he's requiring some attention.
He took a bit of a backseat offensively last year to Liam McKinnon, who still got a few more minutes last weekend for Orange County. Starting to get fit again after being a little banged up to start the year. He'll certainly get plenty of opportunities there once he is healthy. McKinnon stretching that calf or hamstring. That's the hamstring.
It's too neat for Rick to say.
It's a worry for Rick Wright with the number of hamstring injuries he's already had to deal with this season.
Injuries in general. Pascal Corvino appears to be set to miss a sizable chunk of time. Michael Gonzalez was injured only a handful of moments into his debut with the club.
I expect we'll see Gonzalez back after this break. As you see Castro walking not too confidently along that far sideline. He's not even trying to run it off.
In terms of options in the attacking end off the bench for Rick Wright, I'd imagine he would immediately look to Ben Zakowski, shuffle Robles into a more central role.
Certainly an option. Greenville have had a ton of first half injuries this year, and that looks like that will be it for Leo Castro. My.
It will be an extended run out for Sebastian Velasquez.
So we might see him tonight, but certainly didn't think it'd be this early.
And if memory serves correctly, across the span of the league matches played so far for Greenville, this being the 5th, that's the 3rd time they've had to make an injury sub in the first half. Doyle's on to it. Scanning the scene, leaving it behind him a bit. Chapa Herrera needles it back and wins the foul. Costas calming tensions. Bit of diplomacy to stave off any kind of booking.
I'm not sure how much contact there was here on Chapa Herrera. He was trying to thread the needle between these two. Oh yeah, he definitely did clip the foot there. See it on the replay. Costas claiming he went down perhaps a little too easily. Still seeking our first shot on target in this one as we approach the 29th minute.
Off the head of Brown, Garibay read the play well, and another foul is called. Brown took a spill, and Ropapa Mensah is an immovable object.
Yeah, Jane Brown's been in the war so far today. Some of it his own fault, but this one, Ropapa Mensah just a little too clumsy there, undercutting him.
Big fellow moving fast.
That he is.
heat and humidity can always be taxing this time of year, but it's 60 some odd degrees at kickoff. I wouldn't imagine it would be causing too much havoc on these players, but it has been a knock and thrust type of night throughout the course of what we've seen the first half hour.
Yeah, execution.
So we got the thumbs up from the trainer for Jaheim Brown.
Looks like he's ready to rejoin here. That Jaheim Brown. Away by Garabay. Just down by Robles. Play is stopped again. Fricky. Lee. Bub.
We're up to 13 fouls now, 9 by Knoxville. You have to wonder if a persistent infringement penalty, yellow card's coming up.
Widen for Zaragoza, who's in, it's saved. Rankenberg takes one back.
It's a monster stop from the Greenville goalie, one-on-one with the man who tormented them last week.
Tequila suddenly very involved. And he just goes to grounds. He popped a tire.
Do we go and get the goalie? Goalie on two.
It was a lovely ball through. You can see Brandon Fricky just caught a little flat-footed, tried to lunge for it. Rankenberg did a great job of coming out and making himself big. Zaragoza's firing it off. The Greenville goalie. Got a clean sheet on Saturday against Charlotte. That was after giving up 4 goals against Spokane last time out.
A discussion being had between the referee and the bench of one Knoxville. There is Ian Fuller saying that he's bedded in well to Knoxville living. Swirled into the area, settled by Tequila. Polak cleans up, coming off Knoxville last and out for a goal kick. It will be a corner kick. Looked that way in live action. It almost looked like the referee had shooed everybody off, but it will be a corner coming.
Yeah, this Polak Zaragoza's battle heating up here over the last few minutes. Caught a little wide on that last one, a little further up the pitch. Want to keep an eye on all night.
Within swing, away by Mensah. Unable to finalize as Velasquez.
That was not particularly well dealt with by the Triumph.
And Doyle. Picked off by Benton, who looks up and lurches forward. Chased by Goling. Benton all the way to the end line and does about as well as you could ever hope for there.
Yeah, showing off his pace there. TJ Benton stuck with it. Let's see if Greenville can turn this into a chance here, perhaps.
Pinched back by one Knox. Bub steps up to intervene. Velasquez. Little no look. That final connection proving elusive again for Greenville Triumph.
See how far DJ Benton is up the pitch. Almost playing with 3 at the back when they do have possession. Which side of the pitch it's on, Benton or Polak. Pushing it a long way up there as Connor Evans goes down. No foul though.
Visit shoptriumph.com to check out the latest merch and kit launches. That Unity kit, we got to see in action, Ross, at the weekend against Charlotte Independence. It's well worth at least a look.
I think it'll be a good seller. certainly something clean that's clean enough that you can wear out to a pretty fast casual restaurant if you like.
Date night?
Yeah, it depends where you go. Maybe not posh enough for steak. But depending where you get that steak, I guess.
Would the missus approve?
I don't think she, as many jerseys as I have, I don't think she approves of any of them unless I'm at a match.
What if it had Ronaldinho on the back?
We'll see when the stadium gets open.
Yeah, if you try it out, let me know how it goes. And I've got a couch for you as well, if you need that. Ball out of play. That ball is a select ball, and they are proud to be the official match ball supplier. USL Championship, from the Academy to the big league, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com. The latest Select product specials and more. Ross, I think you can agree it's the player's choice.
I'm seeing more and more Select balls out and about. I was refereeing in my local men's league last week, and we were playing with a Select ball. I was very happy.
Was it this Select match ball, though?
It was not the new one. It may not have been the full price fancy one. It may have been a replica, but it was a Select ball nonetheless. As Abel Caputo gets up a little gingerly. Came off the bench last week. Plays Sigurd Haugli, who then got sent off rather unceremoniously.
This is Caputo's first league start of the year in his first season with one Knoxville. Real joust for it on that far touchline. Benton steps up again. Knocks it out for what appears to be a goal kick. We're checking our work now. Got deceived a little bit earlier. Skelton with arc. Well, Knoxville have been resolved to just go long as of late. Greenville have taken away any access they have to the middle of the field. Both sides have come into this match quite clearly with a good plan on how to stop the other.
Yeah, it's very much a chess match last Wednesday night. In the middle of the park for the most part, at least. Again, the goals coming mostly on the transition for Knoxville. That last one, just a little bit of sloppy defending from Greenville. It's been a little tighter tonight in the middle of the park. Both teams trying to keep things in front of them.
It's a risky giveaway. Tequila probing and prodding and swiveling his hips. Zeracostas with threats. Back post ball, Doyle! And in! 1 Knox! Breeze ahead, just 10 minutes from the half.
Yeah, the first real bits of class we've seen from either team in this game, and it was 3 of them within the space of 5 seconds for Knoxville. A lovely little turn by Tequila here. The cross by Zeracostas was a gem as well, and then the finish by Mark Doyle. Top class. Leaping over Benton here. Catching Rankenberg trying to scramble across, just didn't quite get there in time. Too much power on that header by Doyle for Rankenberg to keep it out.
That was a swoon-worthy ball.
This guy was a quality goal scorer back in Ireland. He didn't get perhaps the chance he wanted to last year with Rhode Island in the championship, but now 3 goals in all competitions already for one Knoxville.
That already takes him clear of his goal contribution mark, Mark Doyle, for all of last season. And goaling once more. Brown's around him. Little interference as Pollock tried to close it down, and that'll stop play.
So I know sometimes we don't get goals of the week that have beautiful build-ups, but that was certainly goal of the week worthy. With the move by Tequila, the cross, and the finish.
Those really are the best kind of pieces of service where the attacking player, all they have to do is run in a straight line and it just falls straight on their head. And Chopper Herrera's down. Already having lost the leading goal scorer, Leo Castro, in this half to injury. This would be a colossal blow for Greenville.
Right knee issue. Champa.
Appears to be in some degree of distress. He is their heartbeat, the one who sets the tempo in mid-park, and we've been playing quite well to commence this game. We'll receive further attention off the field, and that is a worrying picture for Greenville fans.
Yeah, hopefully just a bang more than a twist or a pull. Seems to be working okay. See if we can shake it off here. Yeah, as you mentioned, Pate would be a loss, a big one for Greenville if he can't continue.
Especially with Pascal Corvino already down and unable to fill those shoes.
Carlos Anguiano on the bench. Would be a like-for-like sub. Hopefully they don't have to use him.
Averaging just north of 75 touches per 90 for Greenville. You talk about the idea of an 100-touch man in this sport. Having a player that you'd feel comfortable having the ball at feet 100 times in a game. That is Chapo Herrera for Greenville Triumph, and who will stride back out into the field of play.
Yeah, always around the ball, both when his team has it and when they don't. So a guy who can rack up a half dozen fouls against him in a match.
Rick Wright, you see the concern on his countenance, just monitoring Chapo Herrera. His side already down a goal now. This could go pear-shaped quickly without their architect-in-chief in mid-park. What a touch from Evan Lee. Velasquez, and it goes astray for a Knoxville throw. You have to say this is exactly how one Knox would want this beginning of the game to go. And Fuller's had a great vantage point so far, and you can as well with SeatGeek. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Ticket to great seats. All right, 5 minutes from halftime, Greenville would love to change the contents of the halftime team talk. With the curtain fall in this first frame.
It's just been a little disjointed from the home team. There hasn't been much flow to this half. We've had 53.8% of the possession, but it's been coming in spurts. They really haven't had any concerted effort to keep it in that final third and create chances. One shot, only 4 touches inside the opposition's box.
I was about to ask.
Knoxville's done a good job of keeping everything in front of them. Papa Mensah can get behind in a heartbeat.
You and your supercomputer. It's actually his daughter's iPad. Look behind the curtain.
Talking about my secrets.
Here's Pollock. Can't find a way through.
It does have a cracked screen. I wouldn't say who cracked it.
Who did that?
It may have been me.
Oh, it was you.
It works just fine. It's an older one. Greenville with the corner here. I thought it was going to be a goal kick. Not too many complaints from the Knoxville players, though.
See if the Triumph might be able to crack through.
You see this zonal defending for Knoxville, just packing them around the penalty spot. See if Greenville try to go back post. I've seen them do that in the past and knock it back across.
Evans, a darting ball, the knuckle required from Garabay. Benton just waiting on it. He's down behind the play as Tequila takes the raiding party forward into the attacking half. Knoxville would love to double the advantage. Widening ball, a little bit lazy, and Chapo Herrera stuck in.
That was a worrying moment for Herrera. We're going to have to stop the game here because Benton is down. The ball just seemed to bounce forever there in the middle of the park. Benton just took a little too long to get to it, and he paid the price.
What happened here?
It was a good 50-50 contact, just landed on his hip. No foul there. Just one of those awkward ones where DJ Ben looks to be in some distress.
When you land flush against a turf surface like that and aren't able to brace yourself, you always wonder if it might have taken the wind out of him. You don't want to speculate on an injury, but There's always a circumstance coming to ground like that.
It's almost like he was playing a little too deep. Was he having to go out of position to get to that ball? The big center forwards, looks like, thankfully, Benton's okay. Get some ice on that at the half. Keep it from stiffening up.
If he can get to halftime before having to be substituted, if he can't continue, it would at least save Greenville a moment of substitution for them to use later on in the game. He will check back on at the nearest convenience. Slicing wide for Polak. Herrera and Fricky. Line splitting ball. Papa Mensah was trying to stick and twist. He may have been offside anyway. 5 minutes of stoppage time. Plenty to work with. And suitable as well. It's been a lurch and go kind of half between the injuries and all the fouls.
Yeah, just one moment of brilliance to separate these two sides. Greenville just still a little stagnant in the middle of the park.
Costas linking Doyle for the first goal. Goaling into the area, trying to deliver the ball to provide the second, just skids away from Kempis Tequila. Doyle got a look in at that. Benton will take it back under custody now, checking his shoulders to see how closely Doyle is shadowing him. A taming first touch from Ropapa Mensah, but crowded off the balls there. Costas now. He'd wandered all the way over to the far side, and it's out for a throw.
Taking a bit for Sebastian Velasquez to get into this game too. Obviously didn't expect to be coming on when he did.
Well, the big role. Greenville have had a lot of success getting across midfield, but it feels like they've not had much of a plan when they get there.
Also Leo Castro obviously going to hurt. Mentioned obviously still 10 days till the next game. It's a handball there by Chapa.
Is that one of those where the referee is going to look to the linesman immediately?
It's when you talk to your linesman before the game, you say, hey, if it's on my blind side, let me know. It looked like he didn't get a good look at it. Referee Sergen had to take a quick look up. Likely got help from this side. That's what they're there for.
One Knox. Set pieces have been a focus for them. Matching their plan. Short to Jaheim Brown, who now delivers. A knock on, a knock down, and a knock away. Evan Lee, he's clattered. The offender was Callum Johnson. Tyler Polak, the captain, voicing his discontent. And Evan Lee is still down.
So took the wind out of him there.
Dropping like flies, and oh man, he caught that, yeah.
Johnson perhaps lucky not to get away with a card there. Certainly a reckless challenge. He's going to take a moment to recover from that one.
See the remnants of the collision on his forehead still.
Polak coming to his fellow Leadership Council member teammate's defense.
So interesting from Joe Sergon. He was quick to the draw early on, set the tone, a couple yellow cards straight out of the gate. Allowed them to play a little bit more toward the end of this half.
We're approaching 20 fouls in this first half. It's not been the prettiest of affairs.
Knoxville had 17 in the Open Cup match.
They're already at 12. Sloppy there from Fricky and Bud. Just keep it played up by Benton.
Goaling. Polak ignites the advance. Robles on approach. Unable to filter forward for Chapa Herrera. Brown skip back into the embrace of Polak. A little bit of a faulty first touch. The ball in is beautiful though. Robles punched away by Garibay.
Finally something for the Reedy River Riot to cheer about. It's been a while since they've had anything to do. A shot on target tonight for Greenville.
Maybe that conjures some inspiration for the home side with 1 minute before the end of this first half. DJ Benton, Chapa Herrera. Slicing wide. Sebeville
just kicked the ball away after the whistle. I don't think he meant to kick Sebastian Velasquez, but he may have made contact. And that is going to be a yellow card for Zaracostas. He got away with one earlier, perhaps.
Velasquez is okay. Zaracostas, he is the third one to have his name taken. He joins Jaheim Brown and Leo Castro, who's no longer involved in the contest after having to come up with injury. And yeah, he just clipped his hand, it looked like.
I think he meant to do it. Still shouldn't be kicking the ball away after the whistle anyway. Chance here for Greenville. Connor Evans perhaps to get the delivery. He's a long way away.
Very similar spot that Polak was able to provide. A bit of service that opened things up against Union Omaha right before the half.
Just drop something about that 5-yard line.
That's a good ball from Evans, very shapely. It falls inside the box for Lee. Doyle gets the angle on it. A little bit of contact, and that'll close the half. Well, it looked like it was a motion towards the dressing room, and yes, it is.
Yeah, another game with Rick Wright. Plenty to do at the break here.
Mark Doyle, that's the man who put one Knox ahead. His side lead it 1-0 at the intermission. On the road, down the road from Rocky Top, and the Tennesseans take it to the break. A goal to the good.
Dance like nobody's watching. Except when people are watching, like your roommate and the new boyfriend you forgot she was bringing over. Believe in yourself. But know your limits, because right before an interview really isn't the time to try being a hairstylist. Anything is possible. So yes, winning is possible. But so is not winning, which means sometimes the best way to play is to save some possibility for another day. The South Carolina Education Lottery, supporting better players and a better you.
At Johnston Orthodontics, we combine art and science to create your perfect smile. After a thorough exam with x-rays and digital models, we design custom aligners tailored just for you. With our on-site 3D resin printer, these designs come to life, ensuring a perfect fit every time. Ready to tame your smile? Call us today at Johnston Orthodontics.
At Piedmont Natural Gas, being a part of the communities we serve is important to us, because to us, community begins with you. We strive to address the needs of our communities by investing time and resources to help improve the quality of life for our customers. For over 60 years, we have funded programs that support education, the environment, and community impact. Our Energy Assistance Program, Share the Warmth, helps customers pay their energy bills. We're committed to helping our neighbors by powering the vitality of our communities.
There's a new airline in town. Breeze Airways has arrived at GSP International Airport with nonstop flights to 5 cities nationwide. Enjoy low fares, no change or cancellation fees, and convenient nonstop service. Make your next trip seriously nice on Breeze Airways. Visit flybreeze.com to book your flight from GSP today.
Back here at the break. If Triumph can bounce back in the second half, so can your back. Visit Upstate Spine and Sport, official chiropractor, massage therapist of the Greenville Triumph. And after a hard-charging first half, Triumph might be able to put those services to use. They've taken a couple lumps and bumps, but here are a couple players that are playing quite freely right now. The team of the week in the league, and plenty of familiar faces, Ross.
Yeah, for sure. Jake Degler and Breck Evans both finding the back of the net for Naples this past week and deservedly finding themselves on Team of the Week. Connor Evans continuing to shine as a rookie.
Carson Henderlong has been himself at home in these designations.
Yeah, not too bad as well. A lot of other goal scorers up there as well. AV Alta with their 2 first home goals and their first win at home as well in their first game.
And his coach, Carson Henderlong, is the coach of the month in the league. That would be Matt Poland, and the youngest coach in the division has got everybody on notice.
Yeah, what a start to the season for FC Naples on the west coast of Florida, making tons of noise down there. We've seen new teams come in, and obviously Union Omaha had a great start to their USL League One history. Maybe Naples will do the same here.
In the midst of what could challenge the best start in the history of the league for an expansion club, also in the middle of a cup run, they'll get a shot against Tampa Bay Rowdies next Wednesday. Folks, we set to step aside continued halftime coverage. Coming up here, it's one Knoxville, the one smiling at the intermission, Greenville. In search of answers, what has Rick Wright come up with? We'll talk about all that and more when we return here in South Carolina. More Upstate Spine and Sport. Halftime coming up.
Bringing you inside the USL Championship and League One. Diving into all the biggest stories and top headlines. This is USL All Access with Mike Watts and Devin Kerr.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. 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 What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
What exactly is a Sully steamer? Our sandwiches are made to order, which means once you've taken a look at our big menu and narrowed down your options, we go to work. Our sandwiches are stuffed with fresh, flavorful ingredients and then placed in our special steamer until the sandwich gets warm and soft and fuses all the flavors together to achieve the peak of tastiness. Are you hungry yet?
Checking in from Greenville, South Carolina, where the home team is down a goal to one Knoxville SC, trying to repeat what was a convicted performance in the Open Cup a week ago. The news and notes from around the league, here they are, and it is a start to remember for SC Naples. We've been talking about it. Proof positive.
Yeah, and their fans will get a fun trip up to Tampa Bay in the U.S. Open Cup. As you can see at the bottom there, 9 League One clubs have advanced. A couple of long road trips for some of them. Yeah, great. The longer these League One teams can go in this cup, the better. They can maybe get a matchup with the MLS in the next round.
AV Alta filling up their home ground for their league home opener, propelling them to a 2-0 victory over Westchester.
Yeah, exciting stuff for the men in California.
We look forward to the scores around the league. Richmond Kickers has really snubbed the toe of Union Omaha. No shots on target in the first half, Ross.
Yeah, we're looking for goals Wednesday night. Can't find them anywhere, Peyton. Maybe the second half to bring a goal fest. And we got a Friday night game. Always good to have the Friday night fun, and then more action on Saturday. Spokane Velocity and Portland Hearts of Pine.
And the table as it stands right now, we talked about it, FC Naples, the one in the vanguard. Greenville Triumph with a salvage result here today, could climb ahead of them for the time being.
Yeah, still plenty to play for. Obviously, some teams with more games played than others. You know, Mahar and Forward Madison kind of hanging out there in the middle of the table. Long way to go. Don't pay too much attention to the table yet.
Hard to measure things. Teams still on an uneven number of games, but we can show you the footage to prove who everybody is so far. The highlights from this previous weekend within the league. And Ross, we start with Chattanooga Red Wolves and South Georgia Tormenta. This was a wild one.
It was. Took a while to get going, and then it was just penalty after penalty after penalty. Mason Tunbridge there, the first one after a handball by Declan Waters. And Omar Hernandez would step after a foul by Gabriel Alves, he would make up for that, though, with a nice little assist coming up here to Sebastian Vivas with the looping header that finds the back of the net. But it would be a late penalty by Matt Bentley, back in the league after some time away. We'll tie things up here in the 88th minute.
The Wolves have been pesky out of the gate as they continue on into their season, looking to get back inside the playoff line this year. And partner, we had this game, Greenville gutting it out late against Charlotte Independence.
Yeah, it was a battle from start to finish here. Rodrigo Robles, off the keeper first, stuck with it, went to the end line, and watched Leo Castro just finding a little soft spot in the Charlotte defense here and nutting it home just before time expires.
At first you don't succeed, try again. Rodrigo Robles, that deft little flick, cheeky. That is the impish bit of inspiration that got Greenville across the line. Robles will be involved in our second half, but for now, FC Naples' Carson Henderlong, all he does is score.
Yeah, picks up the loose ball here and fires home inside the far post at the half-hour mark, and then Breck Adams off a Chris Heckenberg corner just after halftime, and then another defender goal. Jake Degler fighting off the challenge and nutting it home from that Kevin O'Connor corner with 2 minutes to go. FC Naples continue to roll.
Two teams having very different starts to life in the USL League One. Here's another one, Portland Hearts of Pine, and the key card on that has been defensive solidity. They pulled out Spokane Velocity on their home ground.
Yeah, Portland had only a .09 XG in this one, 15 shots to fall for Spokane, but couldn't find the back of the net.
And AV Alta, we told you about how they had a ceremonial result on their home ground, and they get off on the good foot here.
Yeah, nice acrobatic finish by Emmanuel Alaribe from the cross by Koloyan Polivanov. Jimmy Villalobos would make it two in the 27th from this Eduardo Blancos cross here. Westhurst outshot AV Alta 18-6, only 4 on target. Couldn't score.
Well, that's the past now. We focus on the future. The second half coming up between Greenville Triumph and One Knoxville.
Just breathe. Just breathe. Breathe. Woo! Let's take this thing higher. Higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher. No stop. Take it to the top even when the ball drops. My man, we go higher. Woo! Let's take this thing. No stop. It's time to go higher.
Welcome to Wood Creek Dental, where dental care is a family tradition. For over 40 years, we're proud to be a family-owned practice serving the community of Greenville, South Carolina. Our experienced dentists and dedicated staff are committed to your oral health. Experience the difference for yourself. Wood Creek Dental. Dental care from our family to yours.
Every day, we get the privilege to serve you, sharing local stories on all your screens.
The first alert on breaking news sent through the Fox Carolina News app.
Serving you with the earliest heads up on storms through the Fox Carolina First Alert weather app.
Live and on-demand newscasts.
Fox Carolina Investigations.
On your streaming TV.
Your stories told right here. Fox Carolina News.
I'm Rick Wright, head coach of the Greenville Triumph Soccer Club. The Triumph play here on Palmetto Sports and Entertainment.
Watch using antenna on channel 21.2 or on Spectrum 703. The Greenville Triumph Play Here. Palmetto Sports.
El Greenville Triumph y Liberty están orgullosos de asociarse con Telemundo Carolina del Sur. Vean Telemundo Carolina del Sur para mantenerte informado con noticias locales en español y disfrutar de toda la increíble programación de Telemundo. Disponible gratis con antena en el canal 31.1.
Highlights from the first half between Greenville Triumph and One Knoxville. Folks, we're happy to have you with us here as we embark on the journey in half number 2. Not much to report from the first half on the Greenville front. A couple of moments of creativity, but nothing too troublesome for One Knoxville.
Yeah, Chapa Herrera there. Shot deflected into the side netting. Knoxville here, maybe a preview of what was to come for him at the back post. Glorious chance here for Zarakostas, but a great save by Gunther Rankenberg, coming out making himself big. Right kick save.
When Knoxville would not be deterred though, Tequila at the heart of things again. Zarakostas would make up for the missed chance by providing one on a platter here for Mark Doyle.
There's a lovely little quick flick turn by Tequila to open space. Zarakostas back to his left foot, and there's Doyle. All you have to do is hang in the air for a second and nod that one into the net. All about the service there from Zarakostas. This was the best chance here for Greenville, probably the only shot on goal in the first half for the home team, as you can see there, just the one shot on target. What this graphic doesn't show is the fouls, which were close to 20 in that first half. It wasn't the prettiest affair.
Kickoff is coming to you here in a moment. Ross, anything on the mind? What are you looking for the most intently for these first couple of minutes of play in the second half?
Just some more attacking intent up the middle for Greenville, but Sebastian Velasquez has been on the pitch for a good 20 minutes or so. He really hasn't done much. Knoxville's doing a good job of forcing Greenville to go around them, and they really haven't been very successful in that department, other than that late Robles shot, which came down that left channel.
Greenville Triumph will have to do it without their leading goal scorer, Leo Castro, who came off injured in the first half. Sebastian Velasquez was the one who replaced him. A little bit more of a chance for him to think about his assignment, see how much of an impact he has in the 10 as he comes back into the fold after an injury of his own.
Yeah, the injury concerns. It seems like when one player gets healthy for Rick Wright, then another one gets hurt. We'll see. This is the fourth of games in, was it 3 in 12 days or 4 in 12 days? It seemed like
a lot in a little.
They were piling up.
Can confirm.
Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday.
Slammed away by Garabay. If there is any solace for Greenville Triumph, it is this, a little bit of trivia. And Ross, I already know you know the answer, but just play along with me. 2 players that lead this division in goals past the 75th minute over the last 3 seasons are who?
I'm not going to spoil it. So this is your hard work paid. So you tell the listeners. We'll give them 30 seconds.
Okay.
Let's Greenville have it in the final third.
Call in with your answers.
Something that hasn't happened much tonight.
In the meantime, Velasquez has attacking intent. A diving header to take it away. Doyle fighting off Benton. And one back by Connor Evans. Okay, ready for the answer?
Yes.
Ropapa-Mensah and Siobhan Marsh are tied for the distinction, 7 apiece.
Yeah, the thing is, you don't want to be requiring late goals to pick up a point at home. I'd love to have this one at least 1-1 going into those last 15 minutes. Looking for.
So much of this Greenville attack has been oriented towards the wide spaces. That's really been a trend all year long.
So Zarakostas pinching in centrally there. He's playing as a pivot, forcing Greenville to go wide. They just haven't had much success.
Off the head of Lee. Off the boot of Robles. At the reins is Velasquez. And Bub. Zane Bub. Strong strides. And stuck away. Sliding in to make up for it was Bub. He had to get that absolutely right, and he did.
Looking at the attacking thirds for Greenville. Only 14.4% of the attacks have come up the middle. Continue to be stifled by this man's team in that department.
We talked to Ian Fuller about how he was intending to evolve the ideas when Knoxville has made year-over-year growth, starting in USL League Two. Got their feet wet in USL League One in 2023, made a real stride in 2024, was dispatched out of the playoffs by this very Greenville group. And now really the ambition is contending for a title or bust.
And certainly, as he mentioned, the backbone of the side was there when he came in. He's just had to sprinkle players here and there on the offensive side of things. They haven't done a ton themselves in the final third tonight, but that one bit of class, a difference so far in this one.
Slotted in for Golang, may have taken too much time to deliver in. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. I know that rising San Antonio FC game was carried on Sirius XM FC.
So today got some great numbers on TV as well.
I believe it was an all-time record for the USL in terms of average viewership, which I believe was over 400,000 for the game.
It's a great time for soccer right now. We've got Champions League going on. We've got leagues coming down to the wire for promotion, relegation, etc.
Zaragoza's involved again in some sort of illegal activity on the field. A little shove in the back. He's already sitting on a yellow.
Yeah, I think Tyler Pollock did a good job there of feeling that one and just going down a little easily. Knew exactly what the referee, what angle he was looking at, and sold it beautifully.
Sloping to the wide side, Robles. Trying to pick up the pace is Greenville. They've turned it over though. Evan Lee doing his best to chase it down. Zaragoza is rapid.
Yeah, he looked up for a brief second. There was not much help though, so reset here.
Brown. Snapped away and out for a throw. Greenville gained the second most points from losing positions in the league last year, totaled 11. They've not really shown the amount of attacking flair you would need to do that so far this year.
It's been a frustrating start to the season for Rick Wright. He had a good draw against Westchester and then that big win over Omaha, who were obviously still trying to get their stuff together a little bit. Things have just sort of gone a little funky since then. Did have the win on Saturday. That one came very late against Charlotte. Charlotte, obviously another team still sort of sorting things out. Had a lot of late arrivals, did Mike Jeffries. A lot of new additions, is getting a lot younger. It's almost an extended preseason for a lot of these teams, especially the ones that made a lot of off-season changes. Greenville's not particularly one of those this year.
Chapo Herrera had a bit of a knock in the first half.
A lot of changes to the starting lineup, but not a ton overall.
Connor Evans unable to stow it away and unable to play in Zaragoza there. If there has been one player that's been playing at an extremely high level for Greenville, and maybe doing so without the plaudits deserved, it's been Brandon Fricky.
Rock in the middle of that park. He had 4 new players tonight starting for Greenville.
Pollock.
2 of them at the back in Bob Benton and Evans and Mensah. See Siobhan Marsh.
Into the path of DJ Benton. Sprayed over the head of Mensah. Now Robles. Sizing up Brown. Robles. No room to cross. Pollock has that though. Benton just stumbling as the ball arrived. To add insult to injury, it's thundered off his thigh and out for a throw.
I mentioned Siobhan Marsh obviously arriving like Mensah from Chattanooga. He was dealing with some injuries and illness earlier in the season. Mensah arrived late because of the visa issues. Connor Evans was banged up, I remember, in preseason as well. As Rick Wright talks about, it is a marathon. Still got plenty of time to figure things out. Just those 2 wins certainly help. You'd love to win 3 of the first 5 at home. That means you have a ton of road games.
Ooh. Evan Lee sticking his nose in the fan and paying the price. Zerkostas was the one involved again. Zerkostas had a goal and an assist against Greenville in the Open Cup. He's already scored, rather I should say, helped out in scoring the goal that put Knoxville go ahead here. Velasquez with some tidy work on the ball.
Yeah, Knoxville's making sure he has no time on the ball though. Keeping a very close eye on Sebastian Velasquez. He had full mention during the week how talented he is.
In for Mensah. Nipped away and sent away from the goal of 1 Knoxville.
Mensah with only 21 touches so far tonight. Connor Evans also with only 21. Tells you how little Greenville have been doing here in the final third. There's a chance here perhaps to get something going. Once again, Velasquez. Listen, tactical fouling's become part of the game right over the last few years. Man City, the main purveyors of it. Knoxville have been using it to good effect here. Slowing things down, stopping the play.
Not this man though, Robles. A great tackle does the job though. Bullock. And Bub. Sustained possession for Greenville Triumph. Bullock in midfield. Velasquez prodded away. Now Bub joins up. Most success.
Pushing players further forward now. Evan Lee almost playing the 9 at the moment. Mensah dropping back.
Velasquez snaking and slithering and slicing wide for Benton, who does not keep it on. Fans, don't miss the action. Secure tickets today at TriumphTix.com. You might be waiting for a second. As you mentioned, Ross, Greenville on the road for a little bit now.
Yeah, long road trip. Well, not a trip, but a long period away from home. The Rainy River Riot, unless they go to some away matches, won't be back here to mention until mid-May.
Looks like Cromartie Smith and Sievert Haugley are being prepared, and Haugley is a luxury when trying to see out a game. A bit of a collision there. Velasquez going in. And there is the board going up. Paige Bell, the one who hoisted high. Cromartie Smith, player that has experience playing through the English divisions, was a player that started the league final for Spokane Velocity. He comes on. Sievert Haugley. That's a big man.
Yeah, straight up swap there. Bel Caputo for Haugley. Haugley, much bigger physical presence than Bel Caputo, as you can see there. And Smith will go on for Zerkostas on that right side.
Zerkostas has maybe been the best attacking player for 1 Knoxville today, but already on a yellow and not shown much caution for that fact. Yes. Probably a wise decision by Ian Fuller.
Yeah, getting him off before he gets himself sent off.
Cromartie Smith with pace and prowess, but he's not scored a goal in quite some time. Been nearly 900 days for him, immediately getting a whiff inside the box. 907 days to be exact. He's not had a goal contribution in 703. 31 appearances last year, all comps for Spokane Velocity. But he is a job doer, always working hard, always busy on the wing.
Some fresh legs out there, put some pressure, continue to put the pressure on Tyler Pollack, I should say. Evan Lee with some space.
Encroaching on the box is Velasquez, and it's the same story. The final ball just not there.
It's a good run by Robles, but the ball needs to be put in front of him. There's just white bodies in the way. We're starting to see a little more bravery from the Greenville players here in the last 5 minutes, pushing some more bodies forward, pressing like that.
Robles prying at the seams. Velasquez. Slipped in for Evans. He's not had much joy today. And it will be a goal kick coming.
Yeah, you can see the frustration on Evans there. The ball just too much pace on it. Yeah, his game perhaps begging a bit for some Ben Zakowski or Siobhan Marsh energy just to change the flow of this game. It's had some spurts, but Greenville just, I think, just a little pedestrian.
Away by late. Velasquez switching the point of attack. Robles. Sprinting ahead of him is Polak, receiving in the half space. Robles on the 1-2. Zane Bub was worth a shot.
Yeah, Knoxville, though, doing a good job getting bodies behind the ball, forcing that shot from distance from a man who probably hasn't scored many goals from that out there, if any.
Based on the confidence he took the shot with, maybe at some point down the line. We just saw Declan Rice do it a couple times the other night.
Two quality strikes from Declan Rice, those were.
Bend it like Bub. At the hour mark. A little bit of a tangle. That's what could be a useful free kick here for one Knox, especially with Sievert Haugley in the mix now.
He's a big lad.
6'5", 201 to be precise. Skelton 6'4". Danny Fernandez standing at over 6 foot. Mark Doyle has already shown some aerial prowess. Even McKeel Goling is 6'4" himself. Swerved in, a strong header from Bob. And booted back, it looked like by Fricky. From Arnie Smith. Can't pick the lock.
We talked about Greenville's struggle offensively. Knoxville still with only 2 total shots in this game. One of them found the back of the net. Just been a bit of a stalemate. The team being able to find too much free space in the final third. Maybe once legs get a little tired. See, Brandon did Greenville played on Saturday. Knoxville did not. Handball there on Kamani Smith.
When does Rick Wright choose to look into the dugout and maybe change things up?
I think it's got to happen soon. You've got those 2 guys that can provide pace. And a spark off the bench, energy guys, Zakowski and Marsh. Just all a little stale.
Knoxville content to manage the game at this stage. Wait for their moment to break on the counter and trying to extend the advantage. They have walled off Ropapa Mensah successfully all night long. Maybe some frustration starting to cast across his face.
The problem is for Greenville, when there's not a ton of threat coming through the middle, those fullbacks, the center backs, all they need to worry about is Ropapa. You got Haugley there, stuffing things up in the middle. That's all you really need. They don't need to be worried about the ball over the top too much because the ball has been taking so long to get. There hasn't been any threat on the transition at all from Greenville.
Down for Tequila. Goling. Spinning wide, Doyle. Going off the frame of Cromartie Smith. That's well done by Mensa. Velasquez and streaming forward. Sievert Haugli bounding in, can't break through and get it off Connor Evans. Evans onto the left, Garibay makes short work of it.
What a jump by Connor Evans to stay on his feet, because Sievert Haugli was coming at quite a pace. It was a fair shoulder-to-shoulder challenge, and somehow Connor Evans shrugged it off. Take another look at it here. Connor Evans just the low center of gravity. Unfortunately, he still had 2 Knoxville players to get by. Third coming to help as well, Galling, and just a tame effort in the end. First real chance we've seen on the transition from Greenville in a long, long time.
Falling for Doyle. Fernandez with a bit of flair. The Bull says Olay. Drifted over the touchline.
Greenville's XG of 0.1 at the moment is a sad story that tells the story, unfortunately. We're going to have a yellow card here.
That will bring back some less than pleasant memories for Sievert Haugli. Needless to say, I don't think he agrees there.
A few decisions tonight by referee circuit that players have disagreed with. We do have a riot, not giving up yet though. Cowbell's going as well as the drums. For their team to pick up the pace here and keep it somewhat of a threat.
Skyscraping switch. Not enough lift to get by Brown. And it falls back to Robles anyway, who sees Pollock making the run. Cromartie Smith with fresh legs was able to track it. Taken in by Herrera and Velasquez. Unable to push past the tackle of Cromartie Smith. It's a free kick in prime real estate. Velasquez is wounded here.
Chapo Herrera as well as Captain Brandon Fricky asking why that wasn't yellow. Sebastian Velasquez was on his way. There were a couple of Knoxville players in the vicinity that probably helped Cromartie Smith's case. Perhaps couldn't have been considered a promising attack because of those 2 Knoxville players right there. Have a change here.
Looks like Benzikowski.
There is Benzikowski.
He is the adjustment of the match. Zakowski comes on, Benton comes off. But imagine that means Connor Evans drops back to right back, and Zakowski and him will try and team up. That is brought to you by Upstate Spine and Sport.
Leicester going 3 at the back, which is a potential switch. Right, as talked about. Zakowski and Evans as wing backs now. Robles inside, we'll see.
Lifted in. Zakowski straight into it. Couldn't pierce the opponent. And a foul is given.
Zakowski onto the pitch and right into the thick of things immediately. Not sure if he caught this shot particularly well. Tried to go, he only had time to take it, bring it down. Jaheim Brown was in the vicinity, but if Zakowski had just knocked it to his right, he would have been able to perhaps get more of a positive contact on it.
Not quite sure where the foul was in that.
Does look indeed, like you said, Peyton Connor Evans to right back. Zakowski to right mid.
The knock on, Tequila into the box, always dangerous! And unable to finish into an open net is Cromartie Smith.
Shot from Kempis Tequila looked speculative at first, and Gunther Rankenberg didn't even make a diving attempt on this. He, I think, thought it was going wide. There was a deflection on the way through. That's, I think, what happened. Rankenberg just sort of casually went down, thinking he had it covered. And then when it clicked the deflection, it was almost snuck inside his right-hand post.
Into the defense of Smith. That came off the woodwork with real venom. But that could have, you don't want to say curtains with 20 minutes left, but the way things have gone for Greenville, it's been hard to picture a way back, down 2 goals. Maybe that could become a reality here. Here is Smith. Pollock nearly recovers it. Bub stepping up, now out of position, goaling. Shuttled in, and Rankenberg grateful to take that in off the skip.
We're just going to slow things down here. Knoxville looking for the killer blow that would put this game away.
Bub, a searching ball over the head of Mensah. Tune in to the Triumph's next home match at 7 p.m. on Saturday, May 17th against AB Alta. You can get tickets for that on the Triumph Tix website.
Still no goals in Richmond between the kickers and Union Omaha. Both teams with 8 shots and both teams 2 on target.
It's been competitive up and down the league this year. Goaling into the center, Smith can't take it around Pollock. And it will be a corner kick, it appears.
Yeah, Pollock's had his hands full since Kamani Smith's come on, those fresh legs. Going up against Pollock, who's been running all night. First it was Zarakostas, now Kamani Smith, no break for the veteran.
Suddenly it's one Knox playing like the side that's trailing by a goal. Within swing. Placed perfectly, still there! Kicked away by Rankenberg. Smith takes aim, it's blocked. Once more, it's blocked again. And finally, skewed away.
It's almost like time stood still for a second there. The ball was just sitting on the edge of the 6-yard box, begging for somebody to just put any body part on it and knocking home for Knoxville. Greenville get away with one here. Poor clearance by Bob. A couple of players in white. Howley was one of them.
Greenville looks like they've had their bell rung a little bit in the last couple of minutes, just trying to grab a foothold again. Bub nearly bound up, but now he breaks away into open space. Zane Bub on the run. Still Zane Bub. Now Velasquez.
Just wasn't sure what to do with it. He found himself in very unknown territory there, did Zane Bub. We used to see Evan Lee making those runs from center back, but not Zane Bub very often.
Here he is again. This time looking to distribute. Does so well. The flick on, the 1-2, Velasquez. And just snatched away from his custody. The captain comes in. Jordan Skelton walking softly and carrying a big stick.
That was a huge challenge by Jordan Skelton. Left his feet, he had to time it perfectly and did.
Hardly called his name. That can be a good thing for a center back, but when called into action, he was there to answer the bell. Evan Lee. Herrera surveying the scene. Velasquez and Herrera. Evan Zakowski, now Mensah. Greenville on the approach. Mensah had it plucked. Tequila. Goaling.
Stuart Ritchie with the timely poke. Mensah, first time we've seen him really working in the channel. A chance to get a cross in, but just a little too casual. Ritchie was there to take advantage of it.
to wander around ahead of the back line. Campus Tequila hasn't popped up much, but when he has, it's almost always been a good thing for One Knox.
Yeah, very technically gifted player. We saw what he did on that first goal.
Haugley with the high win and now trying to catch the keeper off his line and not even coming close. Haugley had options, had numbers on the break. It looked like One Knox had Greenville outnumbered 3-2. Rainbowing over the top, Zakowski, or rather that Evans.
Garba hasn't had a ton to do tonight. Just the 2 shots on goal for Greenville, both of them relatively tame. Well, the first one was well hit, I will say, by Robles. This forced Garba to parry it away. The second one's from Zakowski. Less venom on it. Is a set piece going to be the key to unlocking this Knoxville back 4? Quickly.
Velasquez maneuvering through tight spaces. Zakowski now. Ben Zakowski onto that left foot of his. Across the top of the 18, Lee. Took too much time on the ball. Now drives one in. Swatted away and finalized in the clearance by Mark Doyle.
Evan Lee's first touch letting him down there. Key mistake, because a good touch could have given him, setting him up for a shot, or at least like on the left. Instead resulted in nothing.
Finally got One Knox moving side to side and just gave him too much time to get on balance again. Bit awkward, falling for Robles. Summoned to Rodrigo Robles. Rolling away on the block. Connor Evans clipped in and fluffed at the back stick.
Great work from Connor Evans, just firing it into the danger area. I'm not sure if Zakowski got a touch on it that may have put it off for a Papa Mensah. We'll take a look from this angle for sure. Yeah, just sped the ball up a little bit. Perhaps that threw Mensah off slightly, but a man of his quality should perhaps have done better.
Connor Evans did such a good job of selling that he was about to thunder in a shot. Just definitely cut it across the surface ahead of the 6-yard box. Well, Papa Mensah, the ball just ate him up a bit. It wasn't inside the final 15 minutes. That's why Mensah couldn't make good.
A couple of substitutions here for the visitors. Two very effective ones.
Yep. Angelo Kelly. Kelly, a decorated player, had started the previous 2 league matches, was in the team of the week, the first week of the year, for his late goal against Spokane Velocity. Deanne, player that scored the late backbreaker against One Knox in the Cup. 25 appearances for him last year across all competitions for Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the USL Championship. Trying to slash one in straight away. Pollock pushed back. Robles trying to hawk it down. Angelo Kelly splashing into the area. Evan Lee off the chest. Robles threaded through, needling ahead is now Papa Mensah. Velasquez, a pirouette. And pressing on, Robles. He's cut down, took a lot of contact. It funnels wide for Mensah, who serves in. Zakowski left behind him.
Zakowski was too deep there. In fact, too deep to be onside.
Still, though, the most lively advance from Greenville, maybe in the entire half, aside from the Mensah miss a moment ago.
Yeah, starting to show some urgency now. Pushing 10 minutes left. Is it too little too late though? One shot on target between the two sides in the second half. It was that Zakowski effort 5 minutes or so ago.
Velasquez struggling to sort it out. Sifted away by Danny Fernandez. A dancing bear on the ball. Bub just took a whack at it, maybe caught some of Doyle. So throw in heaved high. Connor Evans, Zakowski providing an option at the touchline. Wisely cut in, Mensah and Velasquez. Velasquez gets the reading of it. Now Herrera, puncturing ball in behind. Connor Evans. Evans, a biteless ball in. No one in particular. USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for complete USL TV listings.
Greenville have outshot Knoxville 5-1 in the second half. Richmond have taken the lead against Omaha. Knoxville certainly just quite happy to sit back though and soak up the pressure with the 1-0 lead. Greenville would certainly be like seeing a little more from them in the final third, looking for that second goal that would put this one away, but on the road they seem to be quite happy just to soak things up, try and get to the finish line.
Scott McLeod will come on. This is his USL League One debut. He's played for the side before in the Open Cup, but the first-year product from Virginia Commonwealth University will come on for 10 minutes to add some sureness in defense.
Gene Brown, the other Knoxville player with the yellow card. He doesn't want him to miss a game. Getting him off with some fresh legs on.
McLeod filled this exact same role, playing the final 11 minutes against Greenville Triumph in the Open Cup match. Mensah speeding away to apply some pressure on the ball.
Getting the call there. It's been a frustrating night for the Greenville front man. Just the one shot that wasn't on target.
It's worth noting that Leo Castro was forced off with injury early on in the first half, and that changed the attacking plan for Greenville, but they weren't really looking that incisive before Castro went down. Doyle. Goaling. Ritchie. Lingering towards the end line, will stay in the field of play. Connor Evans. That ball carried a mile, and a foul is whistled in as Mensah was interfered with.
Greenville with 63.2% possession in the second half. It looked certainly more likely the team to score, but still haven't made Johan Garibay do a whole lot. Maybe here from the set piece once again.
Greenville need a spark. Settled at the top of the area. Mensah, Zakowski off the woodwork. Herrera undaunted.
Not sure if that was a design set piece by Greenville, but if it was, it came off perfectly. Looked like a poor free kick from Evans to begin with, but fell to the feet of Zakowski. It was a lovely touch. It was Velasquez to... Yeah, ball just bounced up on him right as he went to hit it. Garibay was well beaten.
Initially, it looked like he may have caught the post. It actually appeared from that replay at least to hit the underside of the bar.
Yeah, definitely hit the bar. Just caught it on the half volley. Unfortunately, when you do that, sometimes you can get underneath it. Zakowski has certainly, he's changed the game, but he's changed the look a little bit for Greenville since coming on. Giving them a bit more venom, a bit more presence in the box. That close to the equalizer.
Player who was in great form at the start of the year, been relegated to reservist role these last couple games. It's about as close as you can come.
Pollock was going to take the throw, but now he'll be substituted out for the rookie from Furman, Ivan Ajakwa. Started the game in the cup last week and was very impressive. The last 5+ minutes here. Try and do something with the jersey not tucked in. Disappointed in him.
That's reserved for when he plays striker.
Maybe he'll remember his
Right feels very good about Ajakwa, trusting him in a big spot here. Maybe just to provide a couple fresh legs and some creative thoughts. Pollock, the captain, the one who makes entry for it. Goaling, pressing the issue, it just runs away from him. Fricky. It's a well-spotted pass. Able to tame, though, is Zakowski. And Doyle tied up at the touchline. Angelo Kelly able to latch on. Hauglian over the top. And up to a Trankenberg. Sniffed that out a mile away.
Claimed by Gunther, who hasn't had much to do at all in this second half. Just the one shot from Knoxville, and it was off target. Chapo Herrera continuing. It's good play in the midfield.
Knoxville sitting well off as Greenville make way from touchline to touchline. Pass left a little narrow. Snipped away by McLeod. And Dien's on the run. Up ahead of Camarnie Smith. Kelly. In with a little bit too much thrust. Rodrigo Robles.
Rodrigo Robles got the ball there first, but no complaints from him.
eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. All the way to the corner flag, and it's a goal kick. Can't imagine there will be much stoppage time coming. Greenville, few resources left to save themselves.
Right, looking for one last thing to cheer for. Here's some space for Ajakwa.
Ajakwa in from deep. Goes skying over the first line of defense.
It's a probing ball, though. Had some potential to it. Greenville couldn't get on the end of it. We haven't seen many of those balls tonight from Greenville. Ones with danger and potential on the same bud. Very unhappy at that call.
Not sure if the card was out of the pocket prior to the reaction or if it's what caused the reaction, but it is a yellow card.
Saying that taking away perhaps his physicality, that Angelo Kelly's a little shorter than him. Let's take another look at it here. On the header, but I think there perhaps may have been a bit of elbow contact, and Bob saying, well, that's just because he's at the height of my elbow. Certainly harsh, the former Rowdies man. Gotta be careful here, though.
As a referee, do you already have the number for stoppage time somewhat solidified at this point? Have you given it to the fourth official, or is that a running clock right now?
I haven't refed at this level, Payton, so at my level, I just keep it in my head and give it some kind of idea of how much extra I want to play, depending on how the game's going. Yeah, the communication between the fourth official and the referee will be done in advance. So we might be adding some more here. Taking a good minute off the clock here with this situation. Greenville won't mind that, especially with deliveries like that.
There could be room on the counter. Just sat up for a second before being dispatched long. Velasquez attaching himself. Now Mensah. Angelo Kelly there to sweep up. Triumph looking to avoid defeat to one Knoxville for the second time in a week. It only lost to them one time in the prior 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a sputtering start to the season for Rick Wright. It's only roller coaster ups and downs, mostly downs of late. Other than that Saturday winner over Charlotte, thankfully, they picked up points there. Otherwise, this could have been a very disappointing start to the season. You see there, 5 minutes being added on here. Obviously, the injuries have played a part. As mentioned, as one player gets healthy, another one seems to go out injured. 10 days till their next game. We'll see if Leo Castro is able to heal up in time. Michael Gonzalez perhaps back, as you mentioned earlier, Peyton.
Jacqua off that of Mensah. Jacqua would have been the one making the overlapping run, but he supplied the ball. Luckily enough, it's Robles there to pick up the pieces. Here's a Jacqua. Cut in. And clawed away by one Knoxville. A collision and a reach for the pocket.
That's the wrong pocket. Yeah.
It's a red card to Chapa Herrera.
Oh, I meant the wrong pocket. I meant the wrong pocket that Chapa Herrera wanted to see the card coming from. Brandon Fricky doing a good job keeping Chapa from getting in any more trouble. Let's see what we can see from this angle. The ball was in the vicinity. I can see why the referee studs up at the knee level. Chapa Herrera will slowly make his way to the locker room here. Now missed at least the next match.
So Chapa Herrera, a straight red card, almost certainly for violent conduct, and his day is done.
Certainly a heavy challenge. I'm not sure if I would define it as violent or reckless.
There was no hesitation, though, from Joe Surgat, and here's Dien. It's going to be a corner kick.
Certainly one of those orange card situations. Wasn't like he left his feet with complete disregard for human safety.
It was almost as if Surgat took a second. He didn't reach immediately for it. Allowed himself to process what he had just witnessed, went through the mental checklist and decided that qualifies as a red card.
Listen, the problem is when you do get the studs up is the height of the challenge. Referees are taught that anything above the ankle could be considered a red card, and that's exactly what Joe Surgan went by the book there.
Greenville all out of sorts now. Angelo Kelly. Doyle, Kelly circling around him. In orbit, Angelo Kelly. And Doyle with no rush to play towards the target. Doyle is chopped down. Foul is given. Benzikowski, he came the closest. Only about 10 minutes ago, he put one squarely onto the crossbar. Greenville, as they have had the nearly moment or two, have yet to produce the moment that matters and are running out of moments at that.
This season for Greenville, that's the word to use. Hating his moments. There's been just moments of madness. Robles in this game last week, the moments by like Chaparrera there, just moments where focus has switched off, moments where goals haven't been put away that should have been put away. Obviously injury moments which haven't been Greenville's fault. Now 10 days to regroup, try and figure things out.
Kelly. It got over the end line. Mark Doyle, the point of separation. One last push for Greenville triumph. Kelly nodded on. It falls right at the feet of Dien here. Cromartie Smith waiting in the gap. That's where it goes. Cromartie Smith! What a save by Rankenberg!
Stepped up when he's needed to tonight. Gunther, not much he could have done about the goal, but he certainly stopped 2 point-blank range chances either side of the goal.
What does Cromartie Smith have to do to buy one? Slammed up ahead for Mensah, who puts a head on it. Ropapa Mensah! And cleared off the line! He went for the spectacular. And cool and calm at the finish line.
Ropapa's been waiting for one of these. It fouled to him perfectly. Watch Jordan Skelton here. Did this cross the line? No, it doesn't look like it from that angle. Part of the ball may have. Robles wanted the goal, but I'm sure the assistant referee was in the right spot. Certainly didn't look like it crossed the line from our angle.
The captain as solid as oak. Greenville, last chance saloon. Slam to the moon. Once more a throw. A high heave. Hoisted in towards the box. Robles.
Offside on the header. Just a little too enthusiastic.
Greenville will not leave this match thinking that they were unable to get a chance to have an opportunity to win this game. Inches. Maybe one more go. Who's the foul on? Apparently Rodrigo Robles.
He's got to behave himself here, Rodrigo, with the mouth. The shove that got him in trouble last week. You can see him continuing to talk.
One shot from Ropapa Mensah. Felt like time stood still. Enough time, in fact, for Jordan Skelton to get in and intervene and secure a full harvest of points on the road for one Knoxville, who take all three today against Greenville triumph.
You can see Ian Fuller thanking his lucky stars that last one didn't find the back of the net. Not a great second half performance by the visitors, but the one moment of real class in this game was enough for Knoxville to take all 3 points.
A game of the absolute tightest margins, and nothing but shared respect between two peak competitors. We step out to a break and pick the bones out of it. When we come back, one Knoxville will take it 1-0.
Welcome to Wood Creek Dental, where dental care is a family tradition. For over 40 years, we are proud to be a family-owned practice serving the community of Greenville, South Carolina. At Wood Creek Dental, we believe in quality care and exceptional service. Our experienced dentists and dedicated staff are committed to your oral health. We've invested in modern technology and have created a relaxing atmosphere for your comfort and peace of mind. We prioritize your experience in our calm and caring atmosphere. Our commitment to providing you and your family with exceptional service is at the heart of everything we do. And our patient-centered approach builds relationships based on trust and confidence. Experience the difference for yourself. Wood Creek Dental. Dental care from our family to yours.
But know your limits, because right before an interview really isn't the time to try being a hairstylist. Anything is possible. So yes, winning is possible, but so is not winning, which means sometimes the best way to play is to save some possibility for another day. The South Carolina Education Lottery, supporting better players and a better you.
That man, the reason why one Knoxville will head home all smiles. Back on Rocky Top with 3 points at the end of the night. They take it 1-0. Let us show you precisely how they got there. On the road in South Carolina for the second time in a week, and one Knox able to create the same result. It looked like it might come early. Zaracostas turned away there. These are the GSP Airport full-time highlights. Zaracostas will continue his efforts, supplying this to Mark Doyle to make it 1-0.
Yeah, he missed the early save there by Gunther Rankenberg. He didn't have much to do tonight, but came up big when he had to. Just couldn't keep that one out of the back. Too much power on that header by Doyle.
Evan Lee would turn the screws a bit here. Robles at least testing Johan Garibay, and then later on in the half, Garibay not required here, as it would be pumped away after the effort from Zarakowski. One Knox would almost get through, as Tequila would put one onto the post. Kermani Smith couldn't finish on the follow. This was a lovely kick save by the goalkeeper Rankenberg.
Yeah, things started to open up in this game in the final 20 minutes. The legs started to get tired. Connor Evans taking a crack here across the box. Papa Mensah just leaned back a little bit at the last second, and this was a nice little set piece that resulted in the best chance for Greenville probably in the entire game. Ben Zakowski just couldn't keep it down, smashes it off the bar.
It ends up a very similar story to the game in the Open Cup. Greenville, the statistics will tell you, another good save from Rankenberg there, that they had maybe as many chances as Knoxville did to win the game, but Mensah, this is really as close as you come, and that might be on Sports Center at the end of the night.
Yeah, big save by Skelton. There's your final stats. You can tell Greenville, again, you look at the stats, you think they had the edge in this one, but just not enough killer instinct in that final third. And 3 points lost for Greenville, and now they'll go on a bit of a road trip before coming back here in a month and a quarter. So they had in 2022, and they only won 1 of their first 5 games, only scored 3 goals in those 5 games. But they did get things going in the end. They had a long season. Still plenty of offensive talent on this team. Just Rick Wright just got to figure out the magic combination he needs to find.
Greenville will go back to the drawing board, try and nurse themselves back to full fitness and health. One Knox continue their unbeaten campaign, commencing their season. We're happy to have you along for the ride here in this one. 1-0 is your final tally between one Knoxville and Greenville Triumph. Not for lack of trying for the Triumph, just unable to live up to the name on the day against one Knoxville, a team that's quickly establishing themselves as one of the best in the league. My partner Ross Davenport, our entire wonderful production crew and team, I've been Peyton Gallagher. Folks, we'll talk to you soon.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.